hire that are doing some recruiting and give you the opportunity to ask some questions, and certainly for the employers to speak directly with some potential hires that we have in our group. And given the time frame, I won't speak too long. I've got one more to admit here. And again, so today's showcase is with Christian Horizons, and we have Catherine McKittrick, who is the one of the recruitment specialists with Christian Horizons, and I will let you take it away, or if Arlen is going to speak, I'll let you guys go ahead.
Nope, that's great. I won't take any time from Catherine. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, Catherine. Thanks, Erica.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining and taking some time to get to know Christian Horizons. So our main thing is that people who experience disabilities belong to communities in which their God-given gifts are valued and respected. So that is our vision for Christian Horizons. We are a faith-based organization, but what I like to say is that though we're rooted in the Christian faith, we are completely inclusive of hiring and supporting people regardless of their faith background, culture, etc. So we embrace diversity and the uniqueness of each person, both who chooses our services and who chooses to work with us. I am actually the recruitment specialist for Waterloo, Wellington, so Kitchener, Waterloo, and Guelph, although as part of a team of 3 recruiters who recruit for across our West District. So the other areas are Hamilton, Niagara, and Halton Peel. We have a variety of settings for our temporary direct support professional position. So that could mean group living, supported independent living, home sharing, and community participation programs. Although I will say openly that currently our community participation programs are not in service due to COVID-19, but we do have opportunities with other settings as well. So what are we looking for a direct support professional? We're looking for someone who treats others with dignity and respect in a way that all people are entitled to personal care. So to have those basic needs met of good hygiene, meals, a place to live. So at the core of a direct support professional, you're coming alongside someone else in a variety of ways to ensure that those core things are met. But then we go outwards to areas such as building relationships, personal growth and development, self-advocacy, and recognizing gifts. Our direct support professional role does require a G driver's license, a vulnerable sector police check, a 3-year driver's abstract, and some experience in developmental services or a similar field. Some examples of relevant education that could apply to this role would be the Developmental Service Worker Certificate, Human Services, Personal Support Worker, Child and Youth Worker, Psychology, Sociology, just to name a few. So there are much more areas of education that are applicable, but I'm just going to kind of stick to those ones for now. I'm going to share with you a little bit of personal experience before I move to how we're doing hiring as during COVID-19 and some other aspects of the specific roles we're hiring. I am actually an example of someone who started as an unpaid student at Christian Horizons in 2010, and then just kept my eyes open for opportunities that fit my gifts. So I did temporary to temporary to temporary until the right permanent role was available. And then from that experience, I was able to be in the role I'm in now as a recruiter. So I do know that temporary is a leap of faith for a lot of people. You're stepping into the possibility of not having something permanent. You're putting your time and energy and effort into a temporary role. However, I want you to hear from my experience that sometimes it is the first step to a much greater journey, and it can give you experience towards many more opportunities Christian Horizons is very open to our temporary employees looking at our internal opportunities to see if something permanent comes up that fits your skills and abilities and gifts. And so even if you start temporary, say 6 months in a direct support professional role, that may not be the end of your time with Christian Horizons, as I can say as being someone who's been with the company for 10 years from that kind of step into a new industry with my education. So we're looking for temporary part-time flex direct support professionals in Kitchener, Waterloo, and Guelph. We ask for open availability for scheduling so that the new employee has the chance to pick up shifts up to 34 hours. So our part-time flex is 16 to 34 hours a week, or 32 to 68 hours biweekly. So we're kind of asking you to make yourself available, but then we're also going to give you more of a chance to pick up as many shifts as you are able to, and to be flexible to us so that then we can offer some additional things. So for example, all of our employees currently have access to our employee assistance program. So that's a variety of resources for all aspects of your family life, personal life, finances, anything you can think of where you might need support to just journey with you through COVID-19 or through whatever you're going through. That's employee assistance. We also are offering our temporary part-time employees some benefits right as you become a new employee. So a health spending account, group life, access to RSPs. So we are giving our new employees a chance to possibly have benefits for the first time, or if you haven't had that for a while. And I also want to say that Christian Horizons has been incredibly proactive with our response to COVID-19. So we have put procedures in place for if certain things occur. We're constantly advocating with the governments so that developmental services is included in their decisions. We are taking their recommendations and applying them as soon as we hear them. And we are trying to make sure that we're not reactive, like responding after the fact. We want to make sure we're ahead. One of the rippling effects of that is that currently, by order of the Government of Ontario, we are asking our employees to only choose us as a public-facing or support type position. So that means if you did choose to work for Christian Horizons and you were successful, we would ask that you only have one job where you're regularly interacting with the public or providing some form of support care or interacting with an individual who may need it. That is to protect you as a new employee, to protect our current employees, and to protect the people who choose our services. And that was instituted in April and is still ongoing as one of our practices. That being said, in my role specifically, I do work well with applicants to talk through what is the right fit and talk through opportunities that, like I say, let's say you were doing an at-home graphic design job. I wouldn't say, no, you can't work for Christian Horizons, because that would be a great at-home versus public-facing kind of opportunity. The last thing I just wanted to share was, as I talk about finding the right fit, for me personally, as the recruiter for Waterloo, Wellington, I want to also find the God-given gifts of the applicants who apply to work for Christian Horizons. So I take a intentional and well thought out, I take steps to make sure that I get to know my applicants, to see what their gifts, skills, and abilities are, draw them out, and try to see where you might be a good fit within our company. So it's very much a relationship right away of, are you the right fit for us, but are we also the right fit for you? And if we are the right fit for you, what within our service models or areas would be a good match? So I just wanted to share with you that that is something I personally like guarantee you with recruiting for our areas, is that intentional, thought through interaction with our applicant. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Catherine. Well, I see some waving, so I'll open it up if there's any questions. Bailey had mentioned if you feel more comfortable, you can use the Zoom chat, and I will kind of triage those questions. But any questions, feel free to take off your mic and just continue to mute yourself if you're not speaking. So I'll let you, Ravi. I think you had a question there.
Yes, I did. So I guess a lot of the jobs are temporary at first. Could you give us like a typical day of a temporary worker that just came on with you? What would they do? Like I was running a daycare, for example. So I'm thinking, how could I fit into your organization?
Mm-hmm.
And I also, you know, I have some office experience, etc. So I'm trying to figure out how can I fit into Christian Horizons, and what does the person really do when they go out there for the first couple of weeks or whatever?
Yeah, of course. So I've actually had the opportunity to do a few training shifts as a direct support professional myself in the supported independent living setting and a group living setting. And then I have worked in community participation. So a typical day is like you're coming alongside someone else through their everyday life. So it could mean meal preparation, supporting them through their hygiene routine. In terms of like every person, we try to have what's called a personal plan. So that would be knowing what their goals are, keeping those in the forefront of your mind as you recommend activities, you have conversations if that is possible. There's some administration in terms of there's medication administration with some of the roles. So you would have to be able to document that you gave medications in the right timing as per their protocols. There's support notes that you would need to take as you are always mindful of those goals that they have in mind as a person. There's ministry guide, like tons. So we're under the Ministry of Children, Community, and Social Services. So that has its own set of parameters and regulations that we adhere to. I want to say that each experience is almost as unique as each person is, but I think that's one reason why I explained that the core is personal care, and then you go outwards to like holistic supports, so spiritual, physical, social, like and emotional, and trying to help someone have a whole life, and you're just kind of in that process, guiding and supporting and coaching through it. I hope that helps.
Yeah, that helps. Thanks very much. It sounds like you know, someone has to have a heart to have this job and really care about the person they're looking after, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Because, well, it's very much the philosophy that you want to treat others the way you'd like to be treated. So if you want to experience a whole life with all these aspects, then you take that philosophy and you apply it to how can I be in this other person's life to help them experience it as well. I do want to say we are very intentional about self-advocacy, so not doing for, but doing with as part of that. Does one have to be certified or licensed? You do not have to have a certification or a license to apply. We do have the developmental service worker as the education that feeds into our industry of developmental services. However, there are so many other pieces of education that are related and that provide similar experience. So for example, I have a bachelor's of human services. So human services is a transferable into developmental services. It just means I would have needed to learn a little bit more on the job about developmental services specifically while applying other philosophies that are learned through that kind of education. I don't know.
Thanks,
if
Catherine. Yeah, I had another
any
question from Jeff, looking at the training supported by Christian Horizons prior to starting employment, and what training do you expect applicants to already have? So I know that kind of fed into that. If you want to maybe expand on that.
Yeah, I can do that. So If you had first aid and CPR that was recent or not expired, that would be ideal. However, we do train first aid and CPR for new employees. So it's not an expectation for an applicant. It is a benefit or a help. Same with nonviolent crisis intervention or some form of crisis intervention like safe management, or some places offer behavior management. Having those things are a benefit, but we train on those things. So training right now with COVID-19 looks very different than in the past. So in the past, we would have had in-person trainings, but we do have some modified first aid and nonviolent crisis intervention to support our new employees so they are able to do their jobs well and safely. But we actually have our own workplace learning department that is in charge of all training for our employees. So we branch out quite a bit with training in a variety of ways.
Excellent. We have another question in the chat room, Catherine. What is the pre-screening or assessments, if any, used as part of the recruitment process by Christian Horizons?
Okay, yeah, I can walk you through a little bit.
Thank
So I will show, maybe this would be a good time to show you how you apply. So let me just share my screen. And I'm assuming someone can confirm they can see my screen.
Yep, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. So this is our job postings board. So qhr.christian-horizons. You click on job postings and you wait for it to load, but this is always internet. And I'm gonna recommend for the West District that you pick Halton, Peel, Hamilton, Waterloo, Wellington right away and choose search. And then you will see the opportunities that we're currently offering. So if you were looking at Waterloo or Wellington, you would pick one of those, view details, and this will give you a link to our values, a YouTube video on that would actually help you understand a little bit more of our philosophies of support, the requirements I stated, and then what's preferred. So here's some kind of what I said, developmental service worker, child and youth. So you apply and then you're screened by one of our admin clerks. We look at your experience, your education, but to be honest, you want to put your best foot forward in how you express yourself as well. So when you're going through the application, yes, tell us your education. Yes, tell us your experience. But like Ravi said, tell us your heart. Tell us, why do you really want to work for Christian Horizons? Why do you want to join in what we do, what we represent, how we are impacting people who experience disabilities so they really do belong to their communities. Like we want people who are willing to be open and vulnerable with how they want to do their job, how they want to join us, not just that they have, XYZ qualifications. Like that whole piece I mentioned, God-given gifts are valued and respected. Tell us what some of your gifts are. Tell us who you are. Like, help us start to get to know you. And then from there, we will reach out to have more intentional conversation about some ministry criteria we need to ask, as well as some more going a bit deeper. As you can imagine, we're in the vulnerable people field, so we do need to do some screening to make sure that we are hiring the best fit for working with vulnerable people. But then that next layer, again, we want to ask more questions. And then you're looking at another conversation to get to know even further. So I like to explain it that we're just constantly going deeper to get to that right fit. Right fit for you, right fit for us, and then right fit for the people who you may be working with. So there is a part of the process where you will actually, if you're successful, you will actually be able to talk to a manager and see, now is the place we want that you might be a good fit in the right fit. And so I hope that helps. Yeah.
No, that's great, Catherine. I have a couple questions here, and this one might feed into what you were just expanding on there. during COVID. Can you kind of give us a concrete how the interview process is rolled out? Is it like platform-based, virtual? Is it via phone?
I can. Yep, and I'm gonna backtrack just 1 second. So I think I'm still sharing my screen. If you were to apply to a position, you just click apply, and then you will create an applicant profile, fill in all of the parts of the applicant profile. Make sure you attach your resume, because that is one thing I see not always the case. We really want to see your resume. Even if we ask for your work experience in a survey, please do also attach it. And then it will automatically, once you finish your profile, it will automatically keep you applied to that specific job posting. And then I'm going to stop sharing. So with COVID-19, we are doing a variety of virtual processes. So the first stage of screening is all virtual because we're reviewing things through our applicant database. So when you create a profile and you apply to a job, we review it that way. A phone call is our next step, and then we do have a virtual interview process. The first time you ever come in contact with another person in the company is when you are successful as a hire. And then there's a screening process with that, where the manager will ask some health questions based on public health recommendations, just to make sure the safety of all who are involved.
Excellent, thanks for that. I had a question from Bernadette in the chat. Just wondering about I know you've mentioned fitting. You want to be part of the application process is getting to know successful candidates and then trying to make those matches with your clientele as well. So she's wondering how that goes about. So how do you match people up with the person they will be working with?
Okay, so for example, let's say that the candidate's experience is mainly personal support work, but they have had a lot of experience with supporting others through a lot of medical things, like medication administration. I don't want to go into too much detail, but just very medical focused. We would want to pair them up in a setting where that's needed, so that their gifts and experience match what the people actually need. Versus if someone had no experience with a medical setting, we wouldn't want to place them in that setting, because that could be very discouraging to the new employee. Maybe their experience is more day-to-day activities with individuals. So maybe we would find the community participation program option, where they can constantly be doing activities. So it's very much about getting to know the applicant and their experience, and then where the needs are, and then connecting those two dots, all with the idea that everyone's gifts are being used, and it's not discouraging, but it's growth. So someone could be very new to one of those areas, but we would try to look to grow them. It also means me knowing my managers so well that I will know sometimes even what personalities might connect well, which manager is ready to take someone newer and grow them towards something, those kind of things.
Excellent. So just Bailey's keeping us time conscious here. She's asked if there's any other further questions before we start doing our quick wrap up at the end. Oh, we got a question again. Thanks, Bernadette. She's asking, I'm sure, and I could probably answer this yes, but do you encourage new graduates to apply? And she's, addressing the potential for low experience.
So one of the things I wanted to say was, we actually also encourage students who are still in the process of completing their schooling. So let's say, for example, I keep saying that developmental service worker is our preferred thing. So let's say you were in the process of developmental service worker. We would want you to apply and show interest, because maybe then we can hire you as you're completing your schooling and be a benefit to your schooling. I mean, DSW programs do require placements as well. So, and we have some opportunities that have more responsibility than a direct support professional, that require more education, that we could work with you while you're a DSP towards something else. So I'm going to say that yes, social service worker program would fit. That is one of the ones that we also, so social services, human services, psychology, sociology, child and youth worker. Now I'm going to say with personal support worker, it is very strong on that core, that personal care, but we want a personal support worker, experienced person to also demonstrate the next layer of that holistic approach. So if you do have a PSW certification, please do apply, but please also try to share with us what else you do besides that basic care that everyone needs, so that we can see that you have what we call a person-directed or person-centered approach. I think I answered the question I saw pop up there.
That was great. Yes, thank you. That was from David. Thanks, Catherine. So we'll give it if there's nothing else. Now, this is just a general approach. So Catherine and thank you so much for your time, and I'll let Erica do her wrap up. But just on our candidate side, with the application piece, Catherine and I are in close contact. If there's any support needed on that, feel free to reach out to myself or your career work coaches at the Career Center, and we can assist you with that application process if you are experiencing any issues with that. And then just encouraging you to, if you are interested in the roles, I will be following up and sending these out. But Catherine walked us through the application online, which I would really appreciate. And we'll be able to flag that on our end, that you are connected with us, and the support that we can provide also with onboarding with Christian Horizons as well. So if there's anything else you wanted to throw in there, Catherine, if not, we'll let Erica do a quick wrap up.
Yep. I did forget to mention our wages, just as a way to let you know that, because I do think that it's okay for us to be transparent about that. And if you were to look us up on Indeed, you would see our range, our wage range for the developmental direct support professional role. So the role does start at $19.15 an hour, and it goes up to $23.06. Now I'm going to be honest, we do not usually start we never start our new employees at the top, because how can you grow and work through that? However, we do have a robust salary verification process. So if you're successful as an employee to the direct support professional role, you can fill out a salary verification with your HR department. We'll review it, and they may start you at a higher spot on the grid on that 5-step process than the beginning. So, and then above and beyond that $19.15 an hour, I just want to remind you, we also do have the benefits of the Employee Assistance Program and the health spending account and other things like that. So we try to have competitive wages, but we also try to approach our employees with extra things so they feel supported by us as a company. So the benefits and EAP and that sort of thing. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I shared that.
Thank you, Catherine. Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, Catherine. That's great. We're going to wrap up here. I think for the for any follow-up, as Arlen had mentioned, please do connect with Arlen. She is working closely with Catherine on any of these roles, whether you'd like more information or you have you've considered this and you would like to move forward, then please do reach out to Arlen to continue with that frame of mind and see where that goes. There's a lot to consider here, great opportunity, and certainly a wonderful organization to be part of that is here in our community. And further to that, just wanted to thank Catherine for her time, because we can appreciate how busy it must be for you and your team. Yeah. So we will have a poll at the end as well that we're going to just quickly ask you to answer, but also wanted to share a screen. I'm sorry, Bailey, if you're there. We're learning, folks. We're learning. Yeah, so just wanted to remind everybody, if you are not connected with the Career Center, we are certainly here for your assistance, for new graduates and alumni, and for the general public. If you are looking for connections with employers, if you want someone to help you with your career exploration, or just to find out what is available out there about and what the labor market is doing currently, especially now with the current situation that we're in, then reach out to us, both in the Kitchener-Waterloo area and in Stratford. So we do have access. You have access there to both centers if you're not connected with us, and we certainly would like to hear from you. And see if we can assist you in your job search. Or if you know people that are struggling right now, do let them know that this is an option for them. Okay, and also to connect with us, and we can get you on My Career if you're not already connected to that. That is a certainly another resource for you as you're looking for work, and that is Conestoga College site that lists all of our current employer connections that are looking to hire, whether that's students, alumni, or general public. So do reach out to us for that. And if you're one of our clients and we don't have you on that yet, reach out to us so we can make sure that you are. Okay. And again, any additional questions you might have, please do get in touch with us. And if you are looking to join us in one of our future showcases, let your coach know, let Bailey know, reach out to us in any way you'd like. And we'd love to have you attend. And we're hoping to have these set up 2 to 4 weeks in advance. So hopefully we'll be able to let you know. I think, Arlen, I'm going to let you slip in here just to say what's happening next Thursday.
Sorry. Next Thursday, we are having our pre-app trades. Sandra Plum-Seafried is coming to the event. She is doing recruitment for our truck and coach program. It's a pre-app program that's run through Conestoga College. She'll be speaking to what that position or what that program looks like, the prospects, the labor market, and kind of just doing a general piece on that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Arlen. Okay. If you have an opportunity to complete the poll, we always appreciate knowing what people are thinking, and we will be following up with an email with some more resources for you from this showcase, and also giving you the opportunity to give us some feedback about today's showcase, and certainly any future showcases that we may be able to hold. So always appreciate everybody's feedback. And I think we'll just give it one more minute. If there's anybody else who would like to complete the poll, it is still up there. And if you have completed it, I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and wish you a wonderful summer day. Thank you very much.